All right, we are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Allison Fields is the veterinarian on. We can take your phone calls if you'd like to jump in. 73. It's a Monday. It's kind of slow.
Coming off a rainy.
The lines are open, but you're welcome to join, or you can sit back and listen. 737-7587. I just wanted to bring this up whenever I see it. I think today's like National Nap Day.
No, really?
Yes. And
how are we at work?
I know. Well, you can nap later.
I can't nap at work.
No, you can't. But maybe during your lunch break. Anyway, they're tying this in as a promotion with the Metro Animal Control Adoption Center and all of that. They have several animals up for adoption.
They can go nap with?
Yeah, and they're saying, we'll match you up with a great napping partner.
Oh,
There's great
fun.
dogs. Anyway,
yeah.
You can go and adopt a pet, a dog or a cat right now from here in Metro. $11.
This is awesome.
That is spayed, neuter, shots, and I think they may be
not
chipped.
Shots for life, just current shots for the year.
But I mean, it's wonderful that you have these animals that obviously they're trying to give them away, and $11 is a fantastic deal to do.
Adopt, don't shop.
Right. Talk a little just about that and the costs that these days go into spaying and neutering that, you know, everyone should do.
I mean, it depends on who your vet is, and it's so hard to compare the cost of a spay from one clinic to another, because some clinics may just tell you the cost of the spay is $140.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that the anesthesia that you need for the spay is another $100, and the blood work that they require before you go under anesthesia is another $70. So in some clinics you may call and they're like, that's, you know, $360, and you're like, why is it so much? Well, they included all of that stuff.
You need to ask, how much will everything cost?
It's really hard. What I suggest, that don't just call around and look for, you know, the cheapest price, because A, it may not be the cheapest price once you get everything else you need, but go in, have the vet do an exam on your animal, meet them, you know, see what vaccinations they may need. Do they need heartworm testing? Do they need heartworm prevention? And then you can say, can you get me an estimate for a spay? And then they can like break it down for you and be like, here's what everything is, here's what it costs. It's just really hard. You know, that's like calling up a dealership and saying, how much is your Nissan?
Right.
There's a lot of different Nissans.
Features, right. Okay, well, just all I'm saying is you have to do it, and it can be done affordably, but at the same time, here's a chance to adopt them.
For $11, that's great.
That's a great deal, and you're saving these animals, because ultimately that's the last stop for a lot of them. And it breaks my heart how many animals have to be put down simply because they don't have the space for them, and it's overwhelming.
It's sad.
Yeah, that's, you know. Just a friend of mine is going to the vet with her cat, okay, and I didn't want to tell her too much more about it, but she was saying that she's an older cat. I don't know exactly how old, but it's old, and she sees it drinking a lot of water all of a sudden.
And what did you say, Dr. Nick?
Well, I said take her to the vet, but it sounds like that could be a kidney issue, but I don't know. And I said, or it could be other things, but at her age. And so I said, take it to the vet. You know, I talked with Allison Fields, and she tells me, and she's going to say it probably could be several things. That's why your vet needs to see. But I do have another friend who did take it, and it turned out it was kidneys and the water. Why is that with cats? Is it that they have high protein diet, and eventually their kidneys go out when they get old?
The first thing is, it's because the good Lord designed cats to live for about 5 years.
Really?
They don't really have a long shelf life, because in the wild, they're out running around, they're fighting, they're getting eaten by dogs, coyotes, whatever. So as we have domesticated cats and have started taking care of cats, and most of our cats that are pets are now indoors or indoor-outdoor, your indoor cats don't come across any of these threats that they would come across in the wild. And we have vaccinations, well, back to that point, that prevent diseases so that they're not dying of disease. And so we, as a population, have been taking such good care of cats that they have way outlived their designed lifespan. Just like people, our average age of death used to be what, in the back of the bubonic plague times, like 40? 40,
yeah.
And now people are living to 80 and 90. So we've doubled our life expectancy with medicine and health, you know, nutrition, all of that. So it's the same thing with dogs and cats. And so cats, their kidneys apparently are the ones that go first, and their kidneys just work and 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 work, and then they finally are like, yep, can't take it anymore, throw it in the towel. And it's not for any specific reason other than they're 17 years old.
Yeah.
And
just wear and
they've
tear,
lived
like
3 times what, you know, they used to live. I mean, if you ask your grandparents, they had a cat, They'll be like, oh yeah, we had about 20 cats, all different times. They only be around for about a year or two.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's because a lot of them were just being killed out and about in the neighborhood. Oh, disease. All right.
Predation by other cat fights. Yeah. Get in a cat fight, get a bad wound, die of septicemia.
Okay. So when it does, the kidney starts failing, there's not much you can do than just keep them comfortable for a period of time?
No, in cats, we can actually gain some ground with them. It just depends how far it is and what the owners want to be honest, spend. A lot of times we can take a cat in kidney failure, put them in the hospital with an IV catheter, run them on fluids for 3 days or so, and get those kidney values down, because the purpose of the kidneys is to get rid of bad things. That's why we all urinate. We create byproducts in our body just from living. Blood urea, nitrogen, creatinine. These things are all things that our body needs to get rid of because they become toxic in high levels. So our kidney's job is to filter all the blood, filters all of the blood in the body, pull out the bad things. Oh, you're bad, you go this way, you're good, I need you water. Send all the good things back and get rid of the bad things. And what happens is they can't sort anymore. It's like Lucy and Ethel in the Chocolate Factory. You know what I'm talking about.
It just keeps coming. Oh, I love Lucy. All right, and it just keeps coming, and they fall behind.
And they're trying to do it, and they can't, and they're shoving it in their mouth because I don't know what to do with this because it's coming really fast. And it's the same thing. The kidney's like, dude, I can't keep up with this. And so now bad stuff that was supposed to go down this chute is going back into the body.
So you're getting sick.
All of this makes us feel bad. So what we can do is we can put them on fluids and diurese them, and push all of these bad things out with a lot of fluids and get them back to a normal range where the cat feels better. And then most of the time we put them on a special diet. We sometimes put them on medication to help bind some of the bad things. And most of the time we either have them come in for subcutaneous fluids, which is fluids under the skin, or we teach the owner how to do it at home. And so I had Moliere, my cat, when we first started doing this show. He went into kidney failure, and I did subcu fluids on him and probably got year and a half, almost 2 years more.
My friend, that was so you can be extended.
We can't fix it, but we can maintain it
and keep them comfortable. All right, let's take some phone calls. We've got them going now, and lines open. Jump in. We'll start off with Michael. Good morning, Michael.
Morning.
How can we help you, sir?
Actually, my dog, I have a 3-year-old black lab, and he continuously chews on pillows, or actually anything that he can, if I scratch his back, he just continuously chews. And I'm wondering if there's something wrong with him, or if that's just a normal thing.
If you're scratching him and he's chewing, what is he chewing on when you scratch him?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Does he have a little chew toy? What's he chewing on when you're petting or scratching him?
Like if you're scratching his belly, what is he chewing on?
Whatever's closest to him. A pillow, a blanket, anything.
Okay. I would double check, or if he's on a good flea control, that's the first thing. Make sure we're ruling out any parasites for the scratching behavior. Other than that, if he's chewing just because, dogs like to chew, and unfortunately some dogs are chewers and some are not. So we need to try to teach them when they're puppies what's appropriate to chew on and what's not. So if they're chewing on something that they're not supposed to be chewing on, we need to tell them no, and then give them something that they can chew on. If he's doing this while you're not home, you probably need to be crating him in a crate so that he can't destroy the house. But I would definitely talk to your vet about it.
I tried the crate before. He does not like crates.
Yeah, it all has to do with training, again, when they're puppies. I think we may have missed that window. So you may want to talk to your vet, make sure we're on a good flea control for the belly scratching, chewing, but then make sure that he has plenty of things that satisfy his desire to chew.
Yeah. Does he have a lot of toys?
Oh, he's got 100.
Yeah, okay. What are the best chew toys? I mean,
depends on the dog. If you have a dog who likes to destroy toys and pull out squeakers, probably not a squeaker toy, because then they can eat the squeaker.
What's the Kong? Is the big red rubber things that those are indestructible almost, right? I've seen dogs.
I would say almost, because I've taken part of a Kong out of a dog.
Wow.
Yeah, you know how the Kongs kind of look like snowmen? There's the.
Yep.
I have taken the head of the snowman out of an intestinal tract.
That's one heck of a dog that chewed that. Do you sometimes put peanut butter in the hole of the Kong?
Yeah, you can. So a lot of people will put peanut butter in the Kong. The problem that so veterinarians see all of the bad things. I mean, don't ask us about something unless you want an honest answer. Kongs some toys used to have larger holes in them, and dogs' tongues have actually gotten stuck in there, and then they swell because they get stuck, and then you can't get them out, and then so it's really bad. So you want holes that are small enough. So the peanut butter thing always makes me a little nervous. But they make treats. Kong makes some great ones. Harper has one that are treats that they don't have to stick their tongue in, but that you buy these little they're toys that you buy a treat that you shove down in it and wedge it in there. That's really hard to get out, and they have to work at it and lick at it, and so those are really good for chewers that can spend them time. My dog just chewed the whole toy in half and got the treat out, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, talk about that's amazing. The power with the jaws, and they're persistent. What's the latest word just on rawhide, or some of the hide chews that are out there? There's various types. You know, there's the pig ears.
I don't think most vets mind hides. The thing is to get the size appropriate. If you're getting those ones that look like bones with the knots on the end, you want to make sure that those knots, because those knots come off. They're not actually knots. They're just rawhide tied around the end. You want to make sure that that's big enough that your dog can't swallow it whole.
What about the little sticks? You know, the ones that you get. There's a package maybe with 20 of them, and there's a white one with little pink, and it's like a chicken flavor or something. And
depends on the dog. If you don't want to give that to a 80-pound Labrador, they'll eat it whole.
Okay, but like I give it to my pug Betty.
Sure.
And now eventually they will chew them to the point where she'll eat them.
Yeah.
That's okay, right?
What do you think they're doing while they're chewing on it?
Yeah, right. They're chewing.
It.
It's not going to get stuck in their intestines.
It can if they eat it whole.
Okay, but she works it. And she's always apparently past it. I don't give her tons of them, but she gets one maybe a week.
Right. And my big thing is that if you're going to do rawhides or pig ears or any of that, make sure it's made in America. When you get rawhides that are from other countries, not usually Canada. Canada and America are usually pretty good, but they can be, they're so nice and white and clean, and they've been bleached or they've been dunked in formaldehyde.
And we don't know what kind of exotic animal they may have come from.
Oh, I don't think that.
You never know. They could be from some kind of exotic animal from overseas we're not aware of. Have you ever heard of koala rawhides?
No, Nick.
No?
Can you imagine how small that would be?
It'd be tiny. Good advice, though. Buy domestic rawhides. You know they're going to be safer. Listen, we'll take a break on that note. Wayne and others, if you're on hold, stay there. We'll get to your phone calls for Allison Fields right after this.